I will not defund the police.
Lie.
I am in favor of defunding the police. I want to speak to the memory of my aunt, who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
Oh wait, another lie.
I was speaking about Sarah Fouy, my father's cousin.
Doesn't wear a hijab.
I don't really have opinions about the future of Hamas and Israel beyond the question of justice and safety.
Maybe he's telling the truth on this one. Oh wait, nope, lie.
The struggle for Palestinian liberation was at the core of my politics and continues to be. I am not, and nor have I ever called for the legalization of prostitution.
You guessed it, lie.
You support decriminalizing prostitution?
Yes, my fundamental belief that work is work. I would be happy to work with the president and the administration.
Lie.
What we need to be doing here in our city is to end the chapter of collaboration between City Hall and the federal government.
I don't believe that the role of the mayor is to police speech.
Lying again?
There are consequences for speaking up in favor of apartheid.
So just find out who you're voting for before you vote who you're voting for.
Alright, y'all, we are back with another video. I definitely had to bring y'all this because here go Scam Dunny, the one that lied to New Yorkers, and we made videos. I made a good bit of videos warning New Yorkers not to vote for this man, that he was just telling y'all a lie to get y'all vote, and now a whole bunch of Democrats is already regretting their vote for this guy. I showed y'all a video yesterday of Stephen A. Smith crying about it. Oh, pretty much saying I should never did this. Pretty much. That's if you really just sum it up, that's what he said. Van Jones didn't even like his speech, that he was just so mad going after President Trump. And by the way, President Trump did respond to Zoran Scam Dunny, and we're going to get to that in just a second. But now it's a lot of New Yorkers all mad, regretting their vote because they fell for the okie doke. Because this man talking about giving y'all free buses, government-run grocery stores, freezing your rent. It sounds good. It sounds good, but it's not going to happen. He just told you that to get your vote. I've showed y'all numerous of videos of New Yorkers getting on camera talking about, I voted for Scam Dunny because he's going to freeze my rent. We're going to get free groceries. We're going to get $30 an hour. All of that. He's not going to give y'all that. And not only that, this man made a video pretty much asking New Yorkers to send him money. So now he wants New Yorkers to donate to him and his transition team. And if y'all didn't see that video, I'm about to get ready to show y'all. Not only that, Chuck Schumer got a new proposition, and they still refusing to open up the government. And President Trump just went off. Not only that, him and Senator Kennedy went off as well. So please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody showing so much support. And shout out to the one that always watches the entire video, man. I appreciate all of you that do that, because it definitely helps get the message out there, and it helps get President Trump's message out there. So please let me know that you stayed to the end of this video right here, and you did hit that like button. Let me know down below in the comment section. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into this. Now, before we start, I want y'all to listen to what David Rubin, had to say about all this, about, Zoran Scam Dunny humiliated as President Trump responds to his threat. So let's go ahead and start it off with this right here.
For 1,000 years, communism has not worked. Communism, or the concept of communism, has not worked. I tend to doubt it's going to work this time.
Here's Donald Trump on more hands-on dummy.
I'm so torn, because I would like to see the new mayor do well, because I love New York. I really love New York. When I left New York for Washington, New York was doing really well, but there were some bad signs. The bad sign was a guy named de Blasio. So the signs of de Blasio, that was the beginning, and it was bad. This one, we're going to, look, for 1,000 years, communism has not worked. Communism, or the concept of communism, has not worked. I tend to doubt it's going to work this time.
Did you see his victory speech? It's literally never worked.
Yeah, I thought it was a very angry speech. Certainly angry toward me, and I think he should be very nice to me. I'm the one that sort of has to approve a lot of things coming to him, so he's off to a bad start.
That's a little of everything with Trump right there. First off, 100%, I believe he loves New York. He built his family, his fortune, his fame, all of those things as he was literally building the skyline of New York, right? At one time in the 80s and 90s, there was more Trump buildings than anything else, right? Less now, for a series of reasons, but I do believe he loves that city, and I know for sure his kids love that city, and despite everything, as he points out, he doesn't want it to collapse. That's one part. The other part, of course, is that the speech, yes, it was very interesting to watch that acceptance speech, because the speech was seriously angry and much more guttural and jihad-like than the soft lens. Smiley, I'm smiling, so, I'm a good guy, even though I'm going to behead all of you people. So yes, it was an extremely angry speech. And yes, Moron Zamdani might want to be a little nicer to Trump because Trump will control some level of the purse strings as it pertains to federal money that can go into New York. And we're going to have more on this in just a minute. We know that this mass exodus is coming. So we know it's about 1 million people that have left New York overall since COVID, right? And now it looks like around 700,000 people are going to leave New York City. So the very people that he wants to fund this thing via their taxes, they are fleeing. So it might be a doubly important reason not to go after the president because you want money to make stuff free. Here's a bit more on Trump's. Here's a bit more of Trump on Mohan Zamdani's speech.
At one point, he says, "Turn the volume up."
So hear me, President Trump, when I say this. To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us.
How do you respond to that? Does that affect anything you're going to do?
It's a very dangerous statement for him to make, actually. And, you talk about danger. I think it's a very dangerous statement for him to make. He has to be a little bit respectful of Washington because if he's not, he doesn't have a chance of succeeding. And I want to make him succeed. I want to make the city succeed. I don't want to make him succeed. I want to make the city succeed. And we'll see what happens.
Did you see reaching out to him?
I would say he should reach out to us.
Yeah, I mean, he probably should, but he's going to try to make his entire career and sham of a personality about being the anti-Trump. Also, again, you hear...
Exactly, like the anti-Trump. That's what it is. Like, if I'm President Trump, I won't reach out to him either. This man said all of that in his speech, and then the next day, I want to work with President Trump. We should talk. But then he get on a speech and talking all crazy about this man. Talking all crazy to President Trump. That's what I'm saying. See, here's the thing right here is what that just go to show you that Scum Dunny is a liar. So they asked him a question about him proposing free groceries, free buses, $30 minimum wage, which it does sound incredible. Instead of him answering the question, he want to talk about who endorsed Cuomo at the time. It just go to show you he was just running away from the question. Check it out.
Living here is top of everyone's mind. It has gotten obscenely expensive to live here, to do anything here. So you're proposing free grocery stores, free buses, $30 minimum wage, all of which sounds incredible.
Cheaper groceries, not free groceries.
Excuse me, cheaper groceries.
Now he want to say cheaper groceries, but why didn't he say that on the campaign trail? Because now you got New Yorkers saying that you said free groceries. This is what New Yorkers saying, not me. This is what New York is saying, that he's going to give them free groceries and all of this. Now, all of a sudden, cheaper groceries.
But what people want to know is, great, I would love all those things.
Yeah,
how do you pay for it? Who's going to end up footing the bill for those programs?
So I'll answer that question by first explaining some of the endorsements that Andrew Cuomo has received.
Endorsements.
Elon Musk's endorsement is one of the most expensive endorsements that Andrew Cuomo has ever gotten because it cost him and the state of New York $959 million in tax breaks that he gave Elon Musk years ago when he was the governor of the state. That's actually more money than it would cost to make every bus free in New York City. So I've said clearly that I believe we should tax the top 1% additional 2%, that's New Yorkers making $1 million or more a year, and have the most profitable corporations pay the same tax rate they do at the top tier in New Jersey, what they would actually pay here in New York. These things together would pay for the entirety of our economic agenda and start to Trump-proof our city. Because as you've said, the endorsements that Andrew Cuomo has got, and this morning he started it by going...
So like I told you, this man is a freaking liar. Like I said before, everybody fell for the okie doke. Now, this video right here is exactly what really pissed off his supporters. Everybody that voted for him, free buses, free this, free that. And then you turn around and talk about, hey, send me and my transition team some money. Donate to us. I mean, look at this right here by Eric Dollar. It's an update. Zoran Mundani shocks his supporters by admitting things cannot be free after he said they will be free. He said, and then this is what he said in the video, which I'm going to play for y'all, just in case a lot of you didn't see the video from yesterday, and I still urge everybody to go watch my video from yesterday, but if you didn't see it, he said, remember how I told you to stop sending me money? You can start again. He is one big scam begging the working class to fund his transition. So I want everybody to check this out. Now I'm going to have to speed it up because I think some of this music that he's playing, it could be copyrighted. So to protect myself, I'm going to have to speed up the video. But check this out.
Good morning, New York City. Thank you. Last night we made history. Today we begin the work of making a new administration.
Oh.
Welcome to the transition. This is the period over the next few months where we build a city hall that delivers on the promises of our campaign, to make New York City affordable and to make government accountable to the people it serves. As we prepare to govern, we'll start announcing the leaders who will help implement our agenda. People like deputy mayors, who oversee entire areas of government, and the commissioners who carry out the critical work of city agencies. These appointments will be driven by excellence, integrity, and hunger to solve old problems with new solutions. Talking to organizers on the front lines of the fight to improve our city, government veterans with proven track records, policy experts from around the country and the world, and working people who know better than anyone what our neighborhoods deserve. And this will be a period, like the campaign we ran and the city hall to come, defined by transparency. Because New Yorkers deserve a government they can trust. On January 1st, I will be your mayor. New Year's Day, and a new era for this city. Oh, and one more thing. Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money? You can start again.
Wow, this man just started laughing, started smiling. You remember how I told y'all can stop sending me money? Because like I mentioned yesterday in the other video, he said you can stop sending me money because we found out that George Soros funneled him $40 million to help him win, to help him become mayor of New York City. So now since all that over with, now he's saying, you know how I told y'all to stop sending me money? Now you can start back. So now you're asking the New Yorkers to send you money, not only just you, but you and your transition team. And that let you know right there that this man lied to all of you. Everybody who was making them videos talking about, oh, I'm voting for Scam Dunny. He's going to give me free stuff. He's going to be free buses. Government run grocery stores. I'm going to get a $30 minimum wage. All of this stuff is a lie. He lied to you to get your vote. That's exactly what he did. So look at him, begging his supporters for money after promising them free stuff.
A government they can trust. On January 1st, I will be your mayor. New Year's Day, and a new era for this city. Oh, and one more thing. Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money? You can start again. This transition requires staff, research, and an infrastructure that can meet this moment. And it will be made possible by the people who built and believe in this movement. So I hope you make a donation at transition2025.com. Now let's get to work.
Wow. Absolutely insane. You know how I told you can stop sending me money and now you can start back. And, you know, we show videos of a lot of New Yorkers who voted for this man is pissed off because they got bamboozled. How many times did President Trump get on camera and say, don't vote for this man? He's a communist. Don't vote for him. Don't do it. And they did it anyway. All why? Because they hate President Trump. And since they hate President Trump, they say, you know what? Since I hate President Trump, I'm going to vote for Scam Dunny because Scam Dunny is very critical of President Trump. He don't like President Trump. So I'm just going to vote for Scam Dunny to try to make President Trump mad. No, you really just screwed yourself. Because this man lied to you. Ain't none of that stuff he promised you're going to get for free. It's not happening. It's not happening. And then look at this right here. By Tony Lindsay. He said, Mondani said that he's going to raise taxes on the rich. Zoran supporter said, the man with the plan, vote Zoran. And then the governor said, that's not within his power. So the stuff that he was promising them, it ain't up to him to, you know, to be able to do this. And then look at this. She said, that's not within his power. It would tank the economy and destroy the middle class. I'm not doing that. So with, you know, Governor Kathy Hochul pretty much coming out saying that everything that this man promised on his campaign trail to New Yorkers is not happening. So y'all voted for this man for nothing. Just absolutely for nothing. So let's check out her, you know, talking about this.
We know that Mamdani does want to tax the rich more, bring it up about 2%. He can't do that on his own. You've previously said that you wouldn't be raising taxes. Have you reconsidered that stance?
No, I would say one energetic rally does not get me to change my positions, I assure you. But I do hear people's voices. I process what everybody says, but I'm also have to balance governing this state and making sure that those people who are actually the reason we have a generous, supportive budget that helps lift people up, it's their revenues that we tax. 1.5% of New Yorkers cover about a third of our budget. That's enormous. I'm concerned about out-migration of people who are the ones who are supporting our budget. I cannot make up for that with middle-class tax increases. I cannot do that to the middle class and the struggling New Yorkers. So this is the balance. I mean, this is my position.
We know that.
Wow. So Kathy Hochul just admitted that she's not doing anything this man proposed. But it is funny that why didn't she say this while he was on the campaign trail? Waiting till after the election because they still wanted him elected. But she knew for a fact in the back of her head that she wasn't passing any of that. She wasn't going to do any of that. But she let him run on it because he tricked. And this is what Democrats been doing a year. They trick the American people. They'll trick them. They'll tell them everything they want to hear. And as soon as they get power, you ain't getting none of it. As soon as they take power, you ain't getting nothing. Now, even Byron Donalds. I've been showing this video the last couple of days because I've been wanting people to see what Byron Donalds went on CNN and said, pretty much warning New Yorkers why they shouldn't vote for this man. There is no free buses, just like there's no free lunch. You know what I'm saying? So Byron Donalds was warning people, but they decided not to listen. Check out what Byron Donalds said on CNN.
When you put in communist and yes, communist policies, that's what Zoran Mondani is talking about.
He's not a communist,
it never
democratic
works.
socialist. He says he's Democratic
I can't tell what the difference is.
Well, he can describe
Explain what the difference is.
He can describe the differences for you. The socialism is not the same basis of communism in this country. You know that quite well.
The man wants to create government-run grocery stores. He wants free transportation, both of which are impossible to do because how is he?
Is a trigger word to try to undermine all of his policies. He's not a. He says he doesn't.
I don't need to undermine his policies. His policies undermine himself because they've never worked. Here's all I want him to do. Tell me where they've ever worked. They've never worked. He knows that. I knows that. But what he's trying to do is promise everybody something that they can't have.
Yep.
And the truth is there is no free lunch, just like there's no free bus. Because you know what happens when you have a free bus? There's nobody there to fix it or to drive it. He knows that. I know that. You know that. America does know it. And it's unfortunate that the city of New York, my former home city, is probably going to have to go through this.
And that's exactly what they got to go through. And no, talking about this man promising free, but you don't see President Trump doing no stuff like that. When President Trump's on his campaign trail, you ain't see you talking about, I'm gonna make sure you get free buses, government run groceries. He wasn't finna do that because he know he couldn't do that. And that's the thing. That's the difference. That's the difference because everything President Trump promised on his campaign trail, he's delivered on. And you just seen, I showed y'all the video of Kathy Hochul pretty much saying she ain't proving anything that this man promised on the campaign trail. She ain't approving none of it. Taxing the rich, free buses, $30 minimum wage, all of this stuff. She ain't gonna do it. This man just wanted to become mayor, and now that he became mayor, he put this video out. Why didn't he put this video out before the election? About begging New Yorkers, saying that New Yorkers should donate to him. He did it after he got elected. He posted this video. He posted it after he got elected saying, I did tell y'all to stop sending me money. Now you can start back. There was all his plan the entire time. He knew he couldn't do any of that stuff, but he had to make it sound good to trick people, and obviously it worked because he got elected. So let's go on over here to this government shutdown with old Chuck Schumer. Seemed like he got a new plan that President Trump was not having. So now that they got what they wanted, they got a communist in New York elected as mayor. And now look at this right here. Say break it. To reopen the government, Chuck Schumer demands Republicans to pass the Obamacare subsidies for 1 year and commit to negotiate. Like, this is crazy. This is dangerous, setting up healthcare as a midterm issue for the Dems. Republicans can do anything they want with Obamacare if they nuke the filibuster and listen to Trump. President Trump been saying for the longest, nuke the filibuster. I don't know what's taking them so long, because if the Democrats get in office, they already said they're going to do it. They already said they're going to nuke the filibuster. That's why President Trump is urging the Republican Senate to do it. And I don't know why it's taking them so long, but listen to what Chuck Schumer had to say.
Reopens. Therefore, we'd like to offer a simple proposal that would reopen the government and extend the ACA premium tax credits simultaneously, and then have the opportunity to start negotiating longer-term solutions to health care costs. Let's do all three. I've spoken with my caucus, and Democrats are offering a very simple compromise. Democrats are ready to clear the way to quickly pass a government funding bill that includes health care affordability. Leader Thune just needs to add a clean 1-year extension of the ACA tax credits to the CR so that we can immediately address rising health care costs. That's not a negotiation. It's an extension of current law, something we do all the time around here. as we all know. But we also
So instead of them just reopening the government, they keep coming out with new proposals. That just go to show you that they don't care about the American people, because if Chuck Schumer don't really cared about the American people, they'll just reopen the government. They keep putting out all of these proposals that President Trump them is not going to agree to. This is their goal, to keep just throwing out stuff that they know the Republicans is not going to agree to keep the government shut down. Is the reason why President Trump say nuke the freaking filibuster. What's taking so long? I mean, this is insane.
For this, let's create a bipartisan committee that will continue negotiations after the government reopens on reforms ahead of next year's enrollment period to provide long-term certainty that health care costs will be more affordable. This proposal reopens the government and ensures working families who are shopping right now for their health care get certainty and financial relief. While open enrollment has begun, insurers can update their rates after we pass a simple extension of the tax credits. With this approach, we do not negotiate health care in the shutdown as Leader Thune has maintained he wishes, and the American people get the tax credit extension they want. That is what many of our Republican colleagues have floated over the last 6 weeks as a compromise: a one-year tax credit extension and reforms to the credit beyond that.
This is
we will agree with the Republican request not to start negotiations until after the government reopens. All Republicans have to do is say yes to extend current law for 1 year. It makes sense. And since what we're proposing is only a simple extension of current law, the Senate could do this within a few hours. This is a reasonable offer that reopens the government, deals with health care affordability, and begins a process of negotiating reforms to the ACA tax credits for the future. Now, the ball is in the Republicans' court. We need Republicans to just say yes.
Like I said, that's the thing. They need Republicans to say yes. And when Republicans can just bypass all of this crap that's coming from Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffrey and just nuke the filibuster where you don't even need their vote to reopen the government. I don't know how many videos President Trump got to make to tell them this, but we're going to get to it in just a second, where he had to come out again and tell the Republican senators to nuke the filibuster. What is taking y'all so long? Obviously now that the communists then got elected in New York City as mayor, now here go Chuck Schumer them with another proposal. With a brand new proposal. Look at this.
I yield to Senator Peters.
You're just listening to Senator Chuck Schumer, who is laying out the unified Democratic proposal, was how he framed it, which is a bill to reopen, a resolution to reopen the federal government, as well as a one-year extension of the Affordable Care Act subsidies that have been at the heart of the Democratic asks over the course of the last 39 days at this point in time, and then a commitment to negotiate for a longer term.
When he's saying right here, we will pay them, not only for today, but for tomorrow and for the entire year, and we won't allow them to be held hostage and be pawns in a political game in the future. And my understanding is the senator from Michigan, on behalf, I suppose, of other Democrats, is objecting to that. Please help me understand. This is a straightforward proposal which addresses